Hi everybody, Benita here, your psychic coach. And today what I want to talk about is the science behind working in the psychic field. Now, I know everybody's got their own approach, and I'm not in any way putting down other people's way of expressing this work. You'll hear people saying they talk to spirit. You'll hear people saying they channel, and I've channeled as well. I've channeled my own soul group. But I want to break it down to the science, and I think all of us ultimately probably work this way. We just have different ways of experiencing it and expressing it. So let's look at this from a quantum physics viewpoint. If you think of everything as being part of one unified field of energy, and that each of us is one of the ways this field expresses itself, one of the myriad forms in which the field finds expression, then what is that field? A lot of people will say it's love, but it's also intelligence, it's information. So each of us is an energy field. The body is just the slowest moving part of the field. Those particles vibrate more slowly and therefore appear to have physical form. If we really want to get into quantum physics, we realize even form is an illusion. It's just all these little particles vibrating at different frequencies. And there's really no place where I end and you begin. We're all just that one field experiencing itself. And the world around us is an expression of our consciousness. Everything we see, everything we experience is a manifestation of our own consciousness. So we're really walking around in our own dream state. So when I'm working with you, I'm tuning in on the energy and the information that is being expressed as you. And I'm helping you to see how you create that world around you and how to shift internally so that when you make the inner shift, the external shifts to match. So a lot of us think the world is happening to us, but because it's an expression from us, all real change happens from the inside out, which is why I tune in on your core patterns that have been operating since you were a little kid and how they're affecting you now. And I help you to make the change and bring those patterns to consciousness so that it filters out into that external world. A lot of times if we have chaos out here, it's because we're not willing to look at the chaos inside ourselves. When we are willing to do that work, things out here tend to quiet down. It doesn't need to come at us this way if we're willing to look at it internally. So when we walk around in this world, we can either see it as things, objects in space, or we can see it as energy. Now, if you're old enough to have remembered the movie The Matrix, you'll remember that there's the world of form and then there's the code that makes up the form. So being a psychic, it's a lot like being able to see the code that underlies the form. You can look at a person and see their physical form, or you can see the various layers of their energy field. You might see the emotional layer that has a lot of colors. You know, people will talk about the chakras and the different colors that they represent. The chakras being the energy vortices in the field. And by the way, there's a lot of information in the chakras. So if I'm sitting and I'm doing a chakra reading, I can actually look at each chakra and tell you what I see and how it relates to what's going on in your life. We're literally fields of information, and those fields interact with each other. In fact, I do a workshop. I've got one coming up soon, the Energy Experience, on August 11th, where I teach you how to see and feel the energy field and how to experience what it's like to consciously feel the interaction of your field and your chakras to somebody else's. We're always interacting. We're always giving off information. We just don't realize it. So we might think we're saying and doing the right thing and be giving a whole other set of signals to other people. So for example, somebody might come on to you and you'll be like, I don't want that person doing that. I didn't invite that. But something in your energy field might be sending out signals you're not aware of, because we have other aspects of us that aren't operating consciously that are sending those signals out. And that can really create havoc in relationships, even in career, if we don't know what we're sending out that's different from what we're saying. So a lot of my work is helping you to bring those parts to consciousness and integrate them so you're operating holistically, you're all on the same page, and with that energy and that impetus, you're able to make happen what you want in the world because you know yourself better, you know how you're operating. There's also the concept of entanglement. Everything in the universe is hooked up to everything else. I think of that as the real internet. So just as you can go onto Google and you can get information on pretty well anything, doing the psychic tuning in has the same effect. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. I can still tune in because energy doesn't care about time and space. It doesn't care about distance. If one knows how to place the intent, that tuning in can happen and that information can be gotten no matter where you are in the world. Now, if you watched my last video, you know I work ethically. So I'm not tuning in on people at random. I've no interest in that, and I'm far too busy to do that for any reason. I much prefer to work with people who want to work with me because they're also placing the intent to be open to my tuning in. And when I tune in, I place the intent to only get the information you most need to know right now. So instead of getting everything that's out there in the universe, because I placed intent, just like you type into Google just what you want to know, I just get the information that's relevant to your needs at this time. Intent is everything. Intent is like a magnet. It just helps the universe focus in just to give you what you're looking for. Just as your intention creates the world around you, my intention helps me to tap in on just what you need. So it's not invasive. I'm not getting information that your subconscious doesn't want me to know. I'm just getting what's useful for you. So this is something to contemplate. And if you want to read an interesting book on quantum universe and the paranormal, read Michael Talbot's book, The Holographic Universe. It's a real eye-opener on the nature of reality according to quantum physics and how the paranormal works within that nature. It can be a really interesting perspective on how our reality is created, how we get information from the world around us, and how we can interact with it in a more effective way. So when I'm tuning in, I am picking up from your field information that's just sitting there, ready to be brought forward. And the more that you're operating in the world from that conscious perspective, and the more you're able to tune in on what's going around you, the more you're able to see, that situation feels right for me. I'm going to go for that. This one, I'm getting a no on this. I'm not going to waste my time and energy there. You can learn to do what I do. You can learn to tune in on information that's useful for you. So whether you are learning to be a psychic and work with other people and help them learn about themselves, or whether you're wanting this knowledge for yourself, pay attention to how things feel. Your mind will give you all kinds of stories because it's conditioned thinking. It's based on how you've learned to think from early childhood on. It's got blind spots. There are things it just won't see. It's conditioned not to see them. Check in with your feelings. It's like maybe you're on a date and the person you're sitting with, they're saying all the right things. They look good. Everything sounds great. But did you check in with how it feels to be in your body with them present? Does everything in you feel open, calm, centered? Or are there any parts of you that feel tight and closed off? That's what you want to contemplate. That's how you start to use your intuition. Because all that information is out there, but it's channeled through your emotional intelligence. It's channeled through the physical. Because the form you're in knows how to translate the energy coming toward it. You just have to pay more attention. So that's my tip for you this week. Pay attention to how it feels to be in your body in various situations. Do you feel open? Do you feel calm? Do you feel closed off or agitated or tense? That's going to tell you if there's something in that situation that's either not working for you or some part of you is having a reaction to, and you need to pay attention. You need to go inward and say, well, what's that about? Because that's information for you. Your whole field, all the information I'm able to tune in, you can learn to do so as well. You can learn to understand yourself at a very deep level and operate more effectively in the world as a result. Thanks very much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.